So in this way, the organization is in a position to understand the importance of recruitment and the selection process, and in case if there is an exit, whether it is due to lack of performance or the employee himself or herself is not willing to continue in the organization for any reasons, whether it is for better prospects or for other personal reasons, then the organization is in a situation to recruit further candidates or a replacement for the person who is leaving the organization. So in that case, whether the recruitment is going to happen at a large level or it is based on the organization's decision whether to recruit people from the existing exit point or the initial level of screening. So where certain people might have been shortlisted and kept in abeyance, and try to check with those people's availability and trying to provide them an opportunity. But this is an exception case, and in most of the cases the organization would like to call for a fresh recruitment where they can get fresh hands or fresh people with qualified or skilled approaches to the position for which they are trying to recruit. So next to recruitment and selection, the another important point what is part of the business strategy is performance management. So as said earlier, so it is not only the functional department or the functional area where the individual is performing the task, it is the HR which is also playing a major role equally with the functional department to see that the performance is being appraised of, or the quarterly or half-yearly performance is being analyzed, and that consistency in performance is being ascertained, and based on that the employees are getting retained, and at least they get the awareness that they are being evaluated. So frequent evaluation of individuals, whether it is a manufacturing industry or a service sector, it is equally important. And when compared to the IT industry or the IT enabled industry, the manufacturing sector or the traditional sector are not showing much interest in quarterly or half-yearly performance appraisal. Mostly they rely on annual appraisal, as they are restricted to certain conditions, or they have their own rules and regulations which they have to comply with. And it is not possible in a manufacturing industry or a traditional industry where they can do the performance appraisal at regular intervals, and unless otherwise it is specified, they are in a position to do a emergency appraisal or an appraisal if it is in need of the hour. Otherwise it is not done as a whole, either at the department level or at the organizational level. But as far as IT industry or a IT enabled industry, where the regular appraisal is required either for the sake of the monotonous job that is being carried out or the stress that is involved, and since overseas clients are more when compared to the domestic clients as far as the manufacturing industry is concerned, whereas in IT industry it is a known fact that most of the projects are overseas projects, and where the company is bound to do the frequent appraisal, or the management either at the middle level or the lower middle level, they are supposed to do the appraisal at least the quarterly level or half-yearly level to see that how the individuals are performing and whether they are able to retain the customer or the clients, and it becomes mandatory for them to do this appraisal. and based on that they have to give the outcome or report to the top level management to ensure that consistency in quality and consistency in standard of service that is being provided to the clients. So it is essential that this has to be done and carried out by the HR at the intervals that is mentioned, and it is also a healthy situation so that job rotation takes place, or it is a matter of shuffling, and HR's role is very important, so that they have to keep recruiting people or organize placement drives to ensure that they get qualitative people, and it is like a cycle. They are able to recruit people from colleges, either from engineering or from other streams, and even from management schools, so that management schools are also able to produce as many managers as possible for the frequent recruiting practice that is carried out in industries. If not this medium-sized industries, at least the large-scale industries where the number of employees are more and even the attrition is more. So in that case, this recruitment is helpful to bring in fresh blood into the role and mold them in such a manner where the training and development team plays a major role to ensure that the freshers are able to get accustomed to the job environment as expected by the client. Another important point as far as the business strategy is concerned, from training and development, which is not only for the freshers but also for the people who are already into the job, and based on their experience and the number of years that they are into the role, so additional training is being provided to ensure that they are able to cope up with the rising demand as far as the job designation is concerned or the role that they are into. So a person who enters into a particular role either as an assistant or as a trainee cannot be there in the same position forever, and this promotional aspects play a major role, and what sort of strategy is used by the industry, that is a vital question, because based on the industrial nature the promotional aspects varies. If it is a traditional company, the designation or the promotional factors is being decided based on the number of years of experience and the standard of service provided by the person. Whereas in the IT industry or the modern industry, where the performance is rated or evaluated only based on the examinations. So as far as IT industry is concerned, they expect the candidate to obtain this specialized or expertized level of certification in a particular area where they are working into. So whatever platform they are into, whether into software or the hardware as the case may be, they are expected to obtain a certificate either at the specialist level or at the expert level to proceed further in their role. And based on the expertise that they carry, or based on the certificates they obtain at different levels or on different areas, so their promotional aspects are being considered rather than the number of years of experience that one is able to put in that particular functional area or in that organization. So ultimately the certificate what is obtained by the individual is of key importance rather than the number of years of experience which is considered in a traditional company or a manufacturing industry as the case may be. Even businesses concentrate on the senior management development because, as said earlier, once a person is able to reach the middle level management or the department manager as the case may be, so how these people can get promoted or escalated to the next level. So that is another factor which is a key element in every industry or particularly in an organization. And senior management development is of a must, where they are supposed to manage not only a team but teams, and sometimes it may be various departments, and where the responsibility is more, and even the authority is also even more, so that keen knowledge and keen responsibility equally should play a major role as far as the role that they are into, whether they are into the general manager position or the vice president position. Lot of expectations will be there as far as the role is concerned, and if it is going to be more than one unit they are going to manage, so the stress will be more, and expectations will be more as far as the top management is concerned, and here they need some sort of development which has to be provided by the company. So that is why the exposure to multiple industries will be provided, or the senior level management people or those who are getting promoted to the senior level management, so they will be asked to undergo training, or they will be asked to get exposure to multiple seminars or meetings where they have to attend, and they have to deal with various entrepreneurs or people at same level to equip themselves to ensure that they are able to cope up with the situation. And as said, if they are going to handle multiple units, and almost round the clock requirement or presence of those people are required, so then their status is at stake, and almost 200% of their previous level of occupancy or presence may be required when they reach a higher level, and equivalent responsibility or equivalent training and required scope will be given to such people to ensure that the organization is able to perform better, and sometimes even the comfort level to see that they are not in a difficult situation. And next comes succession planning. So this is another point, like a replacement, where the talent management is another tool that is being exercised or used to ensure that the succession part is adhered without any difficulty, as it requires equivalent talent or equivalent skill set to ensure that the job gets carried on without any barrier, and the similar type of responsibility or with more skills or additional skills that is expected with updated knowledge for the vacancy that is being created either by retirement or by exit. Another important point as far as talent management is concerned, the rewards, most important thing. So rewards can be of any type, whether it can be a monetary reward, or it can be a promotional reward, or it can be of any kind, so that it is facilitating the individual to perform at a higher level, and it is a sort of motivation, and the individual is able to carry their duties and responsibility with much ease, as something is making the person to feel happy or satisfied with the sources or the approach or focus of the company on the individual, so that it ensures that there is no obstacle in the performance of an individual by making proper rewards and benefits to the company, either fringe benefits or additional benefits to the employee, where they are able to perform more than what is expected. And finally, the career management. So all these elements that leads towards career management, whether it is recruitment selection or performance management or training and development or senior management development or succession planning or rewards management. So all these things are part of career management. So how an individual is able to manage the level of performance as well as how he or she is in a position to move to the next level by focusing on their career without affecting by the internal conflict or the external factors. And talent management is one key element which is ensuring that the organization is able to perform and also takes into consideration the employee's moral and right person to the right task and so on, to ensure that it happens without any barrier.